Don't Share Boxing Nation.
Yo, Billy Joe, man, you a clown. You try to say I'm running, calling me out my name. Nah, but we already know what I do. I'm ready to fight whenever. Let's make it happen. No steroids, no nasal sprays, no excuses. Clean, natural. And we can make it happen, man. It's whenever.
Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? So, man, it's getting serious now. It's really getting serious now. So after the WBO put extra pressure on Billy Joe Saunders to either pick Demetrius Andrade or Canelo Alvarez in his very next fight, he has to either pick those two opponents or he has to fight his mandatory, which is someone we've never heard of. So the WBO gave BJ Saunders 10 days to make up his mind, decide what he wants to do. And the 10 days is almost up. Now, a lot of people were automatically assuming that BJ, he was going to take the easy way out and fight his mandatory. But Eddie Hearn, I reported it the other day, that Eddie Hearn, he said that he has a really good feeling that Demetrius Andrade is going to get the BJ Saunders fight next at 168. Now, it's one thing to hear Eddie Hearn have confidence that they may make this fight, but it's an entirely different thing to hear BJ Saunders himself at least sound as if he's very eager to take the Demetrius Andrade fight next. I mean, you just heard in the opening clip, Demetrius Andrade, he said that BJ Saunders has been running around saying that Andrade is ducking him. So that alone suggests that BJ is interested in the fight. In fact, I told you guys in the last video about this, that BJ Saunders said about a week ago that he wants to fight Demetrius Andrade in 2021. And Demetrius Andrade, he's forcing Billy Joe Saunders to keep his word. Because Andrade, he contacted Billy Joe Saunders on Twitter, and this is what he said. He said, "Pick up your phone. I'm ringing. It's only 9 p.m. I know you're still up." And then BJ, he responds and he says, "Yes, mate, stop all the shit talk. We can just get it on. So vacate this week, make it official, you're stepping up, and February sounds good." So hearing BJ say something like that has got to damn near make Demetrius Andrade dance, right? He should be ecstatic that BJ Saunders is talking this way. But the only thing I take away from what BJ said, it seemed like there was a catch. I don't understand why he said, vacate your belt first, make it official, and then, we'll fight. Why does it matter if Demetrius Andrade vacates his belt or not? The belt has nothing to do with Billy Joe Saunders. So that right there makes me wonder how serious he is. I still lean towards believing that BJ Saunders really wants to fight, but it makes no sense for him to make a demand like that. It's like saying, okay, Andrade, go ahead, fire your manager and fire your promoter, and then we can talk about making the fight. I'm ready in February. What would that have to do with making the fight? BJ has been around boxing long enough to know that champions often move up to higher weight classes, fight for another belt at the higher weight class, fight a champion there, take his belt, and then perhaps vacate the belt and go back down and defend their original title that they had in their original weight class. Or maybe they go up to a higher weight class, lose to the bigger champion, but they're still a champion in their natural weight class. This is what happened with Kell Brook. Kell Brook was the welterweight champion of the world. Golovkin asked him to move up to 160, but Golovkin didn't ask him to vacate his belt. So when Kell Brook lost to Golovkin, he went right back down to the welterweight division as the welterweight champion. I mean, if BJ was just trying to see how serious Demetrius Andrade was when it comes to taking this fight, there's easier ways to do that. He could have just told Demetrius, if you're serious, sign the contract. Let's make it official. But all these strange demands is not making a whole lot of sense. So I'm still really optimistic that this fight will go down. And I'm telling you right now, this is the fight that they both need. The winner of Demetrius Andrade versus Saunders will be put in a very, very good position to get a Canelo fight, or at least put tremendous pressure on Canelo to take the fight. Because we heard Canelo recently, he made it very, very clear his goal is to unify all of the belts at 168. We know that if BJ Saunders wins the fight, he's still going to most likely pursue that goal. And we also know that if Andrade wins that fight, which I believe that he will, Canelo Alvarez may then say, you know what, I just thought about it. Unifying the belts is really not that important. Hopefully he doesn't pull one of those moves. But even if he attempts to do something like that, let me tell you, the pressure is going to be through the roof when it comes to him being forced to take this Demetrius Andrade fight. Let's not forget, Andrade has been chasing Canelo Alvarez for 5 years and 3 weight classes. Can you believe that, guys? That's right. When Andrade was the champion at 154, Canelo didn't even have a belt, and Andrade was calling out Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez turned down a title shot when he was actually looking for a title shot. And we know this because soon as Andrade was stripped of his belt, Canelo ended up fighting for that same belt against Liam Smith. So then Canelo, he moves up to 160. And he said when he was at 160, he wanted to unify all the belts until Demetrius Andrade and Jermall Charlo showed up. And then it's off to 168. Now Demetrius Andrade is moving up to 168. When you move, I move. Just like that. We are dealing with a modern day Black Murderers Row. I've already told you guys the Black Murderers Row story, but if you haven't heard it yet, just Google Black Murderers Row and Wikipedia will give you the whole story. It is amazing what fighters on the coincidental list, black fighters, have to do to get the opportunity that other fighters that are not black get all the time. Demetrius Andrade and Jermall Charlo have been chasing Canelo and Gennady Golovkin for over 5 years. Shakur Stevenson has been chasing Oscar Valdez for about 2 years. And right after Teofimo Lopez told the media in the press conference that he's willing to fight Devin Haney next, he thinks about it, and a week later, he says he doesn't want to fight Devin Haney for another 3 to 5 years. Andre Ward never got Gennady Golovkin. And just to give you guys a bonus one, I was watching the Hector Camacho documentary on Showtime the other night, and it was funny because I thought about the Pernell Whitaker situation. Pernell Whitaker had been chasing Camacho when he was undefeated. In fact, on another documentary I had watched on Pernell Whitaker a while ago, I remember he says in the documentary, as he's doing a post-fight interview, he said, man, I've been chasing that kid Camacho for years. He don't want to fight me. So having all that athleticism, all of that talent is definitely a gift and a curse when you're on the coincidental list. So these fighters, they may have to work harder, like Andre Ward was forced to do when HBO asked him to basically leave Golovkin alone and move up to a higher weight class and fight Kovalev. Because he kept winning, he was able to reap the benefits and it all paid off. So that's the only thing fighters can do is continue to win. Outlast those fighters on the hope list that don't have to do as much work but get praised more by old media. Like Terrence Crawford outlasted a Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez. A man who soon as he came to the U.S., matter of fact, before he came to the U.S., when no one knew who he was, old media was already telling the boxing world that this man was pound for pound over everyone. About 2 years later, he gets knocked out. Terrence Crawford still continued to move up in weight, beating undefeated fighters. Now he's at the welterweight division. Now he's considered pound for pound the best fighter in the world, while Roman Gonzalez is now rebuilding his career. And the reason why I compare those two fighters because they're the exact same age today. They're 33 years old. You would think that all the stuff that Roman Gonzalez has been through in his career, that he's been boxing for 15 years and he's in his 40s. Okay, so enough with the bonus talk. Let's get back to Andrade versus Saunders. So this move right here, if Demetrius Andrade gets this Billy Joe Saunders fight, it puts him in the best position he's ever been in to force Canelo Alvarez to man up. So I'm really hoping that BJ is serious about taking this fight. This is a battle of the undefeateds, and if Demetrius Andrade wins this fight, this will truly be his coming out party. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm on to the next one. All right, now check this out, guys. If you're looking to repair eczema scars, burns and bruises, dark spots and blemishes, then this right here is the perfect product for you guys. It's called Andrade Face and Body Oil. Athletes and top-ranking boxers, they're also using it after training to reduce swelling, inflammation, and to ease the pain. So get yours today. Go to Andrade.com, like them on Facebook, and follow them on Instagram. This is the future right here, I'm telling you guys. If you've lost your hair or you have a receding hairline, this is how you get it back permanently. So if you want to get this hookup for my brothers out there in the UK and Europe, make sure you check out the Scalp This on Instagram. And for my brothers out there in the States, make sure you go ahead and contact my man Scalp Carolinas on Instagram. And when you go on their pages, you can see for yourself what these guys look like before. I mean, these guys are literally hair magicians. I've never seen anything like this before, but all I can tell you guys is this is a serious game changer for us men.